This is problem number 3 from section 3.3. In this problem they say write the expression in standard form. And they give you a fraction with a complex number on top and a complex number on bottom. Now remember, standard form is written as a plus bi. So we need to take this fraction and get it split to a plus bi. So we're going to have to do what's called a conjugate in order to do this. We're going to have to use a conjugate. So I made a list of conjugates. As you can see, the complex conjugates. So for a plus bi, the conjugate of that, so I keep using that word, is just a minus bi, meaning we're just using the opposite sign when we go to multiply, essentially. And then obviously a minus bi, the conjugate of a minus bi is a plus bi. So it's just the opposite signed binomial. So what we're going to do is we want to cancel out this denominator, right? That's the problem that we have here, is that this denominator, we need to get rid of it so we can get it into our standard form. So I'm going to multiply 5 plus I over 2 minus I. I'm going to multiply by the conjugate of the denominator. Well, the conjugate of the denominator, if we look at this a minus bi, is going to be a plus bi, meaning 2 plus I. So I'm going to multiply the bottom by 2 plus I, but I don't want to change this problem, so I have to multiply the top by 2 plus I, because we know 2 plus I over 2 plus I is just 1, so it doesn't actually change that fraction. So let's go ahead and multiply now. And when we do this, we could probably put all this in parentheses so that we can see we're going to do the distributive property here. So we're going to take 2 times 2 on the bottom, which is 4. 2 times I, which is 2i. Negative I times 2, which is negative 2i. And negative I times I, which is negative I squared. On the top, we're going to get 10. 5 times I is 5i. I times 2 is 2i. And then I times I is I squared. So you can see why we're doing this, because in the denominator, look what happens. 2i minus 2i, that goes away, and we get minus I squared, so that's minus negative 1. So we end up with, let's combine the top a little, 10 plus 7i plus negative 1 over, because remember I squared is negative 1, 4 minus I squared, which is also negative 1. And that's going to give us 10, well no, it'll give us 9, cross that out. I'm just going to say equals here. So that's going to give you on top 9 plus 7i over 4 minus negative 1, that's 5. So now we can split that so that it looks like a plus bi form. We split the denominator between each. We end up with 9 over 5 plus 7 over 5i. And now we're in a plus bi form. A is 9 over 5, which is the real part, and b, or 7 over 5, is b, and this 7 over 5i is the imaginary part. So how did we get to that? We used the conjugate, which I defined as the binomial with the opposite sign.